Thank you.
I just got word the president wants me to come down and meet with him and with Dr. Kissinger at 10:30, so we are under a little time pressure, so nice to see you all, and I'll be back. I haven't left yet.
Mr. Ford,
Yes.
is there anything in your financial dealings or in your health that might come up in your confirmation hearing that would be embarrassing?
I know there's nothing wrong with my health, and I don't believe there's anything wrong with my financial situation, and I will say here, as I will to the members of the committee in the House as well as in the Senate, they can have any of the financial documents concerning myself, my assets, my income tax returns if they want them.
What about Did the President ask you a lot of questions? Did the President ask you that question or detailed questions about your health and financial dealings?
He did ask me about my health, but I think it was somewhat with a smile, and I assume, he didn't ask me, but I assume that those in the executive branch had made some checks, and of course my record's an open book here and has been for 25 years.
Agree with Mr. Laird that if the President would disregard a Supreme Court order to turn over the tapes, do you agree with Mr. Laird's proceedings?
I would answer it by this, and I don't want to speculate as you have put the question. I support the President's basic position as far as the tapes are concerned, yes.
Mr. Ford, do you see any prospect of your becoming a presidential candidate in some of these states?
I have said emphatically and as vigorously as I can that I have no intentions whatsoever of being a candidate for any political office in 1976.
Are there any circumstances which would change that?
I know of none.
Does it bother you when people say you lack charisma or aren't very colorful?
No, I've always felt that the best way to get ahead is to do a job. And if you do it, you get rewarded in most cases. And how you look or how you speak doesn't really bother me, or at least how other people feel I look. So if I get the job done, I'll take my chances.
Mr. Vice President, did the President indicate that he wanted to talk to you about the entrance of Jordan into the war?
I haven't had a chance to read the paper or listen to the news. He simply wanted me down at the White House at 10:30 to talk with Mr. Kissinger. So
indicate whether it was about the war.
I didn't talk to him personally. It came through one of my staff members.
Mr. Ford, do you intend to go out in the country now to make yourself better known to the American people?
I believe my principal role is that of trying to help the President and his program on Capitol Hill. That's my long experience. That's my field, so to speak. So I assume I'll concentrate to a great degree right here in the Senate and in the House, the Congress. I suppose inevitably I'll be called upon to make some speeches, and I've got some commitments, and the President said keep them. So the commitments that I have, I will keep. But primarily my job will be here right on the Hill.
Do you intend to campaign in '74 against some of the Democratic House members and some of the Democratic Senate members?
Well, let's cross that when we get to it. I have campaigned as a Republican for Republican candidates in the past. I assume in a certain capacity I would be called upon to do it for the party in the future.
Would you foresee any possibilities of the Republicans controlling the Senate after the '74 elections?
I think it's premature to make any judgment on that.
Mr. Ford, could you tell us just briefly what is your financial?
I will give the details, of course, to the committee, but my wife and I own jointly a house in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a house in Alexandria, Virginia, and a condominium, a skiing condominium in Vail, Colorado. That's the only real estate we own. I own some family corporation debentures, which I inherited from my father when he passed away, and part of which I bought as I was going through life. But it's a family-held, or it was a family-held corporation. Those are the only assets other than any cash, which is minimal, and my retirement benefits.
When Harry Truman unexpectedly became president, he said he felt like the stars and the moon had all fallen on him. How did you feel at 7:30 last night?
Well, I was I must be frank, pleased, but also I was aware fully of the serious burdens that the job entails. Really, I think I better go.
How did your family take the news, John? They were all there with you.
Well, my wife and daughter were there. My son had gone to the high school football game. And my other two sons, one is in Massachusetts going to divinity school, and the other one's a senior at Utah State University. So they weren't there. Well, Susan and my wife Betty were, I think, thrilled. Yeah, kind of shocked a bit, but you ought to ask them. They can describe it better than I. Thank you very, very much. Okay.